Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody.
I said we go live. Y'all continue your conversation. Then nobody said nothing.
We're talking about Judge Cannon dragging her feet, and Becca said,
Yeah, she's just dragging her feet. She was like this close to screwing up, and I was like, I triple dog dare you, because she was Donald Trump was asking to put a skiff at Mar-a-Lago, and she took like a month on that ruling, and I was like, I triple dog dare you. I triple dog dare you to do it, because that would be grounds right there to just yank her off the case. She eventually ruled no, but there was another thing that she almost screwed up that Jack Smith had to come in and straighten her out on, and then she backtracked. It's like she has no clue what she's doing at all.
Did you see that? What is her name? That new Dim in the House, Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
From Texas.
Oh my God! Like, found documents in the shitter. I was like, "You go, girl."
That whole impeachment inquiry was such a hot mess for the Republic. I mean, I enjoyed it. I watched bits and pieces here and there on the YouTube, but I was like, what a disaster. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster for them.
I loved it when they went through them and it said, do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence? Do you have? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Wow. It was, I mean, even Steve Bannon went on his show and said, I don't think I would have put that guy first as a witness.
Yeah, and then there was the other guy. He's new. He's a freshman in Congress. I don't remember his name. He's from Florida. Moskowitz. That was like pulled out the board, and he's like 2 indictments for Trump, or 2 impeachments, 4 indictments. Biden 0-0. They can't take this away, but they can put numbers on the board for Biden. And it's true. Everybody can see through it. It's like
Crockett has been on fire every time I've seen her, but this time, like she had just had it.
Mm-hmm. And Katie Porter got her licks in too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see Katie Porter. I missed that one.
Oh, Katie Porter had a whiteboard with a body outline and a quote on it. And she was asking, do you know who said this? Do you know who said this? And she peels it off and it's a picture of Kevin McCarthy underneath it. I'm like, she has gotten so good with that whiteboard. She peels off that body outline. There's
so
Kevin,
good.
right below his quote.
They can all bring their boards. Even Moskowitz, but she's always going to have the best ones.
You hear that rip as she pulls it off, like she Velcroed a cover over it.
That was really funny.
Did Jim Jordan stay the whole time, or did he walk out? Because I mean, there was people that weren't even the Republicans that weren't even there. They weren't even there. They're like, they just left. That shows you how serious they are. So I was wondering if Jim Jordan was one of the ones that just up and left, because that was just an embarrassment. Embarrassment.
MAGA has got to, the MAGA House people have got to be pissed off because they got nothing that they wanted in the budget thing. Now, granted, we've got to do it again in 45 days, but they got nothing. They are lost out big time.
Matt Gaetz is going to be at the door first thing. What time does the door open in the morning? Because he's going to be there for the vacating of the seat. He is going to be there.
Washington Post over the weekend, I think it was, or maybe it was last week. It was during the whole budget crisis thing. They reported that insiders were saying that Matt Gaetz is ready to bring papers out or a vote out.
Oh, he tweeted 8 hours ago he's going to do it this week.
Yeah, they were saying as early as next week, which would be starting this week, to vacate Kevin McCarthy's seat. Well, I was like, damn. I'm sitting there, I'm like, where's my popcorn?
They're going to keep on until Jeffries gets it, because there's going to be Republicans that aren't going to support any of the MAGA choices. They're going to start voting for Jeffries, and Jeffries will end up speaker with the minority.
Ted Lieu just posted a picture a few days ago of 18 vulnerable Republicans. Vulnerable, meaning we can flip those seats. 18 of them. Wow. And if the MAGA keeps this up, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Autumn's in the chat. Hi, Autumn.
Hey,
I
Autumn.
barely got it now.
I know.
Okay, keep on. Keep on.
Bring it. Bring it.
Round and find out, as they say. So, officially, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy business closing. Yay. We got a Spirit Halloween moving in. That's where Creepy Baby Head came from. So he wants to say congratulations to Donald Trump and his family on your future endeavors.
I love the thumbnail for tonight's video. Spirit Halloween at Trump Tower. Thank you, Mara.
Thank you, Marv.
Creepy
So,
baby head. I love him.
if y'all need some inspiration in the Trump family, there you are.
They got a creepy baby.
You can go into the novelty business. You're
You should-
already there anyway.
You should put a little bit of blonde fluff on his head.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do him like that. No. He already looks like a Trump enough as it is.
He's got like one eye. He's like this, right? He's
Because he got to keep one eye open around there. He ain't got no hands and feet. You got to watch. You got to watch. I know it.
Oh,
You got to watch.
that's Johnny's mascot, the creepy
They
baby.
be up to stuff. He know.
He's sleeping with one eye open.
He know. You got to. You got to.
So people texting me that I need to dress up as Hobart for Halloween. I'm like, y'all don't want my boobs hanging out on the camera all night.
Wearing one
Yes,
of those
they
kitty
do.
dresses
push my hand up there.
Yeah.
with your boobs up to here.
Mine's have disappeared.
I had the wool socks in last year, if you remember, for Ghost of Ivana.
Mhm.
It's like, oh God, that was itchy. I'd have to do that again.
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be for Halloween.
Poor Ivana. Her grave is all weeded over, overgrown. It made Melania go back and rework her prenuptial agreement. You know, she's like, I at least want tulips.
You can have them. You're just gonna get you some weeds on top of it. So, there's that.
my God.
Oh, I have
Ivana got flowers too. I'm sure.
I have an announcement. Friday, Sacred Sounds of Coffee will be on Spark Soul Therapy channel with me and Gail. So if you're not a subscriber to Spark Soul Therapy, her channel's a little hard to find right now because she doesn't have a lot of subscribers. But please go over and subscribe before Friday.
For Valerie Sargent, that's telling me to dress up like Laura Loomer. Girl, I can't put that much Tupperware in my face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll just dress up like Tupperware.
You can dye your hair blonde and go as Marsha Blackburn, just tease a big old rat's nest up there.
I have an idea of what I want. It's just a matter of finding it.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. And thank you, Janine, for the super chat. Yeah, so we're doing that. That's 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Friday morning.
Nice.
So, is there any announcements? Anything anybody want to say? Anything going on?
To book a reading with Jen Lynn Tarot, www.JenLynn tarot.com.
And no, you cannot book a reading through Temu.
That's right.
So keep that in mind too while you're out there in the world.
I don't do discounts. Anybody. I've got openings in November. Might have a couple in October.
I think I have a couple open on Saturday. I think I might have a couple openings on Saturday. thewayofpositivechange.com if you'd like to have a reading with me.
And I have gotten readings from all three of them, and I recommend all of them. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't usually advertise, but whatever.
you can get you one from there too.
Absolutely.
I've gotten readings from all three, especially of those readings where, because I read for myself, but it's them times where, okay, you've asked that question 9 times. It's cute that you keep changing words and think you're asking a different question, but you're not. And so it's like, okay, let me go to experienced people because I don't know what I'm doing. right now. I know what I'm doing, and I'm
Or
doing
you're
it wrong.
avoiding the
That's what
answer.
Yes, it's like as I'm in the way, so you need somebody else on the outside to tell you about yourself right now. So,
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Extremely.
To inquire for readings with Becca is House of Lenormand, readings@gmail.com.
Yes.
We only do 1 hour in Grand Tableaus, and that's it. On the weekends.
And do not tell them how to read their cards. If you've been reading cards for 400 years, you ain't pulling the cards. Just sit back and listen.
Oh, Lord.
So today we got some interesting questions, I think. But we can start with Matt Gaetz versus McCarthy, because as of 8 hours ago, Matt Gaetz said that he is going to start proceedings to future endeavor Mr. McCarthy, so he can go work at Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' Hines or Dunkin' Basketballs, whatever you want to do. You just ain't coming around here no more.
I was
Now,
looking
there's
at
a second part to that story too, but let's start here. Will Gaetz be successful?
Matt Gaetz, and he's got these huge eyebrows that go up in little big V's. I mean, he's got thick like Lauren Boebert eyebrows, and yet his forehead is still like way.
He's got those really pointed, very angular eyebrows, a widow's peak, and that tiny mouth, like a tiny little mouth, or lips. I should say.
He got the douchebag kit. And he just when you do Mr. Potato Head, he got the douchebag. And so he got the weird caterpillar thing, and then he got the 9 head, because his is way past 4.
They're
he got
V. And I was like, V way up above his.
I've seen people say that he looks like Eddie Munster, and I'm like, that's an insult to Eddie Munster. Like
It
really
is an insult to Eddie.
Eddie Munster was cool. So will Gaetz be successful in ousting McCarthy? That's the question.
He said he's going to be relentless. He said he's going to, if he has to have the vote 15 more times, he's going to do it.
You do it, Boo. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, put it on Celebrity Deathmatch. That's what I want to watch.
Eat your own.
I just keep hoping Matt Gaetz and Hobart get together. They're perfect together. Idiots.
You shouldn't call babies ugly, but I bet you that one would be in the running.
And it would drop out quick, because we know about Hobart and her birthing babies in the.
It's like theirs and Stephen Miller's neck and neck. It's like, Lord have mercy. You poor thing. Bless your heart. That's what we're saying.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Bless his little heart.
Bless your heart.
They had reported that there was a big old fight between McCarthy and Gaetz too, like in McCarthy's office, that they were arguing and then
yelling
at each other, and Gaetz asked McCarthy, "Where'd you get your money?" This, that, and the other, and he threw out a name I wasn't familiar with, to which supposedly McCarthy replied, "Oh, F off." You know what I mean? Like they got in a big old shouting match last week.
Because you let him. If you let somebody goat you into argument, they will do it.
And then
let him come in, voice his opinion, and then let him walk out. That's how you win arguments.
And then McCarthy had tried to befriend Marjorie Three-Toed Green, thinking that would give him leverage to the crazy party. And then they ended up tossing Marjorie Taylor Greene out of their little caucus,
But everybody who read on this said the same thing, pretty much. McCarthy borrowed time because they hold all the power over him. Well, we'll see. Will he be successful?
I think yes. I think he's going to regret it. It's for image purpose, and it's all based on lies and everything. But he's got some strength behind it, in trying to show power. I do get there's like some secret government meeting things going on to talk about this, but I think he will move forward with that vote. Now, what the results are, he will present it as a vote.
What'd you get, Lori?
I think that he's having big problems. I think he's having huge problems. My strength card's on its side. I do think that he's going to be able to bring it to a vote. I think that he's full of ego. He's full of himself, and he's going to show up. And he wants to be on the camera and have it his way. I feel like I have to ask another question to see if McCarthy will go out. But Gaetz is definitely in the driver's seat with this.
It's funny that you said that because I've been seeing everywhere that Gaetz has ambitions to run for governor in Florida.
I've seen that too. It's like, so why are you stirring up so much crap in the Senate or in the House if you're gonna like
trying to get his name out there? He wants to be the next DeSantis, I guess. Will he do it? Yes. Will it go anywhere? No. It doesn't transition. It's just a lot of fighting. A lot of fighting.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I get he brings it, but nothing happens. More chaos. What'd you get, Johnny?
Distracted. That's Angry Bird. For those who don't know.
he does. That's what a higher forehead though. Like square up the forehead. But those are the eyebrows.
My God.
That's Angry Bird for those who don't know. I do get power and some support here with the Magician and the Six of Pentacles. So he is in a good position to start. There is, however, a burden around the completion there in the House with the Four of Wands and the Ten of Wands. This is harder than he thinks it is. Right now, it's just theater and big boy talk. Because mind you, he said this while making his rounds on idiot TV and all that type of stuff. And, I'm going to do it. Okay, fine. It ends in the Two of Wands. This is not success, but this is planning. So going back to the drawing board and then back to the drawing board and then back to the drawing. So he's going to keep trying because this is probably his platform for now. And word of warning, though, is the Nine of Wands. This is not easy. I think he picked a fight that is bigger than he thinks. You need to rally more people than just Marjorie Taylor Greene. And being loud on TV does not equal success. Otherwise, you'd impeach Biden already. So there's a whole different thing waiting for you here. So I don't see that he gets him out in this read. I see that he keeps trying. Or maybe just keeps talking about it.
How chaotic, though, that he's undermining his own party just to elevate his own name. I mean, by all means, continue, because that gives us a way better chance in the next elections. But how insane is that? How insane is that? You've never seen anything like that on the Democratic side.
Well, and you don't see it as blatantly in the Senate as you do the House. Now, there's some, like Josh Hawley caters to the MAGA and stuff, but you don't see this blatant that we're seeing in the House. I have a question about that. After the 2024 elections, will MAGA be stronger or weaker? Like, will there be more of them or less of them in the House?
Well, that Donald Trump. I mean, he did a number on that party.
One person.
One.
That's all it takes.
That's all they needed. He did what he was supposed to do.
He did what he's done in his whole life. Tear everything up.
It's a walking power card.
Death card on the bottom.
I don't know if I have a weaker card. Do I have a weak card?
I got a weak ass card.
What's your weak ass card?
Ooh.
Oh, it is a weak card. Yes. Thank you very much. That makes sense.
Woo! That's even better. I like that.
Yeah. There's my answer right there.
Yeah, I got to know too. I asked if they would become stronger. There's going to be a bunch of crazies running their mouths and yip yapping conspiracies and fraud and this, that, and the other thing. But the people that are listening are very suspicious. And there's a lot of successful work behind not letting the people that are talking, like what's her name? Carrie Lake from Arizona that's now trying to run for senator. And people are onto it if you're picking up what I'm and also this last election, almost all MAGA Republicans lost. They didn't just lose, they got wiped, so just saying.
Poison.
Brain poison.
And they didn't have a good week this last week either.
Yeah. What'd you get, Lori?
Oh, no, it goes way down. They took it over the top. They just took it. It became too much. And people just realized that just was too much. So they're not going to get the funding. They're not going to have all the members. There's going to be further separation, and hopefully they'll eat their young, and that's it.
Yeah, I get big changes with it. Like all their corruption and strength is waning because people in America, this is my card for America, are watching them, and they want healing now. They're tired of these people that are getting away with all this stuff that they keep bringing up. So it also some of them may get delayed because they have legal issues, like they won't even get to run again.
To your point, Jenny, I just don't understand. If anyone in the country were to show up to their place of work and act like these people, we would be fired on the spot.
Thank you.
And yet these people are in the halls of Congress acting worse than a bunch of schoolyard bullies. I don't get it.
Not even having a vote to see if there should be an impeachment inquiry, not going by the rules. They can't follow rules. Paul Gosar saying that, but go after Mark Milley and stuff, unalive somebody. How is that person allowed to sit in Congress?
Mm-hmm. If any of us did that at our place of work, we would be fired.
Yeah,
we would be
I
fired.
threatened anybody with a weapon.
Yeah, harassment of any kind, like, verbal, anything.
Fine, Paul Gosar, you coward. Why don't you go do it yourself? Why are you trying to inspire your minions to do it?
And the biggest offender is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is the biggest offender, and if, like I said, if any of us acted like that, we would be fired.
Or assaulted. It's like there's only so many times you can poke at somebody before you get thumped in your lips.
Like that lady at the grocery store with the cart. The lady with the cart at the grocery store.
Superwoman.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
If you haven't seen the clip,
I'm gonna have to show you. Because this woman was harassing this man as he was walking through the store. She was calling him names and all kinds of stuff, derogatory name. And he just had enough at that point. He picked up his whole cart and tossed it at her head.
And it wasn't
the shopping cart.
It
the
wasn't
whole thing. It just went bloop.
It wasn't one of those little plastic ones like at Target. No, it was like the huge ones from Costco. Those ginormous. He just picked it up and threw it at her head. I was like, oh my God.
He got knocked out. And mind you, they detained him outside and let him go because everybody was basically a witness to her harassing him. So
her being a Karen.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Okay, so before I tell you what I got, here's what I need y'all to do. And some of you do this already. Most of you, probably all of you, hopefully. To compartmentalize. That's not the word I want to use. That's the word I'm going to use because I can't find the other one fast enough. I need you to calm down. Use temperance in these times. MAGA is not the majority of Republicans. They're just the loudest. There are no Nazis. Those people are weekend warriors. They do this. That's their hobby. They do this in their spare time, and they go work at Dick's Sporting Goods, and they're in their 40 hours a week thing. And then they go and do this. Like the Klansmen who cover their face. You should be proud to be hateful. So it's one of them. I need everybody to just calm down. Those people are just loud. They're not a majority. Do not be fearful of crowds of crazy people. So here with the Knight of Swords, there's your chaos and your erratic behavior when it comes to MAGA GOP. And then there's the Ace of Pentacles. So you still have an opportunity for these people in government. They're still there. They're very loud. They're very erratic. Do not think that that means that they are in greater numbers than you are. Otherwise, Trump would be your president right now. They're not in greater numbers than you are. They're not stronger than you are. All they can do is bark and intimidate. That's it. They're like the Chihuahua. They make a lot of noise. Meanwhile, you pick him up and throw that son bitch across the street, I bet you he'd be quiet. So it's one of them things to where just use your temperance. They're not in greater numbers than you. They're still there. But they are going to have the stars and the word of warning. They're having an issue with progressing in the future. Here's your chariot. They're having trouble because their message has gone. Their message has been indicted 91 times. So that thing is not as strong as it used to be. So take a deep breath.
And their message can't even complete a sentence anymore. He's like lost his mind when he tries to talk.
It's like, just calm down. It's okay.
He thinks that who was it? Started World War II, not World War III. Obama.
No, he said it was
Bush.
Not little Bush. Big Bush, right?
Yeah.
Sir, Jeb Bush. It was Jeb Bush.
Oh, Jeb. He said the wrong Bush. Right.
Yeah.
He also said that we should just water the forest here, so to prevent forest fires, and I'm like, is that before or after we rake it? Because that was his last.
Yeah, we're supposed to rake it. Why are we watering it now?
I mean, and people in Beverly Hills are leaving their car doors open so that people can steal their tires.
He said they smell bad too because they don't have water.
Yeah, they can't use water, so people in Beverly Hills smell bad.
And all those mansions.
And they leave their car doors open so that their tires can get stolen.
It's almost like he says, "Hey Siri, give me random words," and then he just repeats it. It's like...
and he was saying that windmills were killing whales.
Yeah.
How?
Offshore windmills. They're killing whales
windmills.
Now. They're slicing up the whales.
Onshore, offshore, they were killing the whales.
That's for all them flying whales we've been seeing, I guess.
Yeah. When they reach the water, a windmill got me.
They got bad navigation when they leave the water, the poor things.
The guy has lost his marbles are gone.
What the? Okay, all his marbles are square too. They don't roll. They just
they get knotted up. They don't fit together right like bricks. They get all
like I said.
The Legos from the Dollar Tree.
Like I said, his elevator's stuck in the basement and it's flooded, man. Like that guy,
he's not doing good. I think with the more of these court dates coming around, he's
gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Donnie,
basement, and somebody threw a toaster down there too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should ask, will Spirit Halloween be in Trump Tower next Halloween? By 2024 Halloween, after your cartoon you had on the thumbnail.
God. Oh, I had a part two.
Okay, what's part two?
To the Gaetz, because the GOP has said if they find something within their ethics probe, they're going to file some motions to get him, I guess, what was the word? Not removed. They had used a different, basically removed. And so, how's that going to go? Is he going to
what?
Matt Gaetz in his ethics probe? So apparently, there's a group of Republicans who say that if they find something worth actionable, that they will take action against expelled. Thank you. That they will expel or file a motion to expel Matt Gaetz.
I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Wow. Can I buy tickets for this?
They are getting sick of MAGA. They're sick of them.
So will he get expelled? Matt Gaetz get expelled?
Will they find anything on him? Let me help you out. PEDO.
And VENMO.
And
who creates who commits crimes?
TRAFF ICKING. Oh, and let's not forget his little meetings at the White House before January 6th with GYM and MTG.
If they find anything, the question is, how much will you find? Will they be successful?
I think I need to rephrase the question.
We go for it.
Okay. Who's investigating? The ethics.
It's the ethics, but it's GOP led, I believe. But apparently they're taking it seriously.
Will any of the GOP ethics committee find any evidence successfully to expel Matt Gaetz?
I like that question.
I get they'll find stuff if they'll move on it. Backstabbing and looking into things that he's trapped in and his erratic behavior and the things I was just spelling out for them. Definitely there's something there. I get structurally, yes. And they would swiftly do an action against him. Now, whether that's taking him completely out, but I get their strength of support behind what they find too. So, he might skate by, he might get away with it, but they've got support for ousting him.
What'd
you get for that, Johnny?
There is some evidence, but I don't get I don't get removal. They could, though. So the Knight of Swords and the Page of Cups. So there is I don't want to say relationship because that's not what it is, but you get what I'm saying. You pick up what I'm putting down. There's young people in those cards there. The Nine of Cups, which can be some indulgent behavior, fantasies and things of that nature. Person at the center of attention because the devil is there as well too. And the moon, so a lot of murky details there. I tell you, listen, now, God always gives you an out. I said that before. But people who commit crimes always make a mistake. There is some sort of recorded thing. So messages somewhere, there's text messages, there's emails, there's a fax, a smoke signal. There's something where you can trace back to him and put some dots together to maybe start a case or something. But they got enough evidence to where they could move because it ends with two cards of authority and power with the Magician and the Emperor. So shoulda, woulda, coulda. If you get somebody who wants to follow through, they have every evidence or all of the evidence in the world to do so. So there's that. It ends in the Emperor. That's not necessarily yes for me, but They have the option.
I got the emperor too. But that's more of at the beginning, like ruling over just gossip. They're not going to take just hearsay. There is a money trail. There's payment trail. And that may be enough to get him in trouble. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get him removed. They may have to come back for some more things. Because I got the 5 of Cups. I don't think I'm not sure that they have enough. It's gonna take more. So maybe he'll make another mistake and then that'll be it. Because it's like, all right, we might not have everything right now, but we have 2 more tries. We get 2 more tries.
Maybe Jack Smith will help him out.
Maybe.
Okay.
I have to expel him because Jack gets him taken out.
Speaking of taken out, there is, let me find his name and his story here. Georgia State Senator Colton Moore, who demanded a special session. Say that 10 times fast. Special session of the legislature for an investigation of Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. He wanted a special session for an investigation into her. Indefinitely was suspended from the chambers, the GOP caucus, as of Thursday, because apparently he endangered people with his rhetoric. And despite 32 out of 33 Republican state senators, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the Speaker of the House, and the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party saying that the action against Fulton County DA is impossible, not unlikely, impossible. He went through with it anyway and then started spouting off at the mouth, and so he has been suspended. What I would like to know is his political future, because he has no allies as of right now except one person, and that was him.
See, that's what needs to happen to Paul Gosar and those
I
guys.
said all of them.
What's this guy's name again, Johnny? Colton?
It is Colton Moore. He is a Georgia state senator.
Colton Moore, Georgia State Senator.
Wonder if
What's his political future look like?
Wonder if he's related to that Moore over in Alabama that was
Oh, the racist one.
the racist underage girl molester.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ball.
Because Fonnie Willis, how dare you do your job? Investigation time. Roy Moore, that was this.
Roy Moore. You're giving the Moores a bad name.
You know what else gets a bad name? Every time I hear a candidate say family values, I automatically think, oh, you're cheating and you got, a wife on the side and a girlfriend and a pool boy and everything else. I automatically go there and think that because it has been tarnished.
It's like the flag,
I hear the word patriot, I think Republican. It's sad.
It's sad.
Thing.
Like Jenny was saying, anytime I drive by a person's house and they're waving a flag, my first thought is Republican.
Mm-hmm. Or you got 9 of them on the back of your car because you forget what country you're in, I guess.
Yeah.
You want to be able to find your car quick in the parking lot.
I did have a person in one of the classes say that was an interesting thing to see, because you don't see that from where she's from. Their country flag everywhere. It's like, no, it's everywhere here. Everywhere.
We don't see that anywhere else. Any other country, like. What'd you get?
I don't think that he gets enough funding. There's going to be a really bad article written about him, I think, where people are they're just not into him, and he's fed up with what happened. He had wishes and hopes, but he's He's fed up. He's got a real attitude. And I just think it was too much. He was over the top too. I don't think he's going to do very well.
Colton Moore, thewayofpositivechange.com. Get your readings there.
He's done something to women.
I think so too.
I get all this feminine energy. There's a woman that's going to come forward and talk about him that has evidence, something sneaky that he did, and he's gonna lie and try to fight it and everything. But I get surprised. You are out of there. Victory on that. I think he's used strength against a woman that did not
Consent.
Thank you.
I guess he and Russell Brand are going to have to go to lunch together or something.
Write a book together.
Yeah.
And, what's that guy from the 70s show that just got convicted? The Scientologist, Danny Masterson. Yeah, you just go join them.
His political future, it's done, but there might be some news coming out, some concerns in regards to how he was financed or someone that was financing trips, because there's resources that worked in his benefit. So there's a confusion of trouble, but it's confusion and trouble around financing travel to improve something, and then there's the news that comes out. So I don't think this is the last on him. There might be something coming out about money or finances or resources from abroad, or someone financing his vacations to go somewhere, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got all of that. Everything all y'all said. So there's that. There's a lady here, Five of Wands and Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is charm and wit in romance offers. And then there's the Five of Wands. This could be some sort of fights. Now, this isn't the R word, rhymes with grape. This is more of harassment because it's like a strong advance type of thing. Then there is something very sketchy about quid pro quo, or a very, very well-connected person dropping money into him, especially periodically. So he may get a check from somebody every 3 months for something that he does. Could be around voting as well, too, something like that. So Georgia state politics, look into that, because it has something to do with his job, because there's the Hierophant. There's also a possible, like a DUI or driving while drunk or something of that nature too. So keep a lookout for that. And there is something about moving or relocation or a house elsewhere too. So he's got like not a house, but maybe he can like use somebody's house, like a parchage type of thing. So he's got some sort of gifts in and receiving quid pro quo again. So there's that.
Wow.
Now listen, this is what happens when you don't mind your business. All you needed to do was your job. All this extra stuff, God says, do not touch my anointing, and he will prove it to you. I guarantee you. Okay. Not Roy Moore. Ooh, that slipped out. Colton
Maybe
Moore.
related.
I'm sure you are.
Colton Moore.
Well, speaking of pervs, Rudy Giuliani is he's being sued by his lawyers, or former lawyers, for nearly $1.4 million. How will that go? I don't even want to say will it be successful, because I think you owe them, but will they get anything? I mean, what do you want, his hair dye? He ain't got nothing left. He's not broke, though. I think we did a reading. He's hiding money somewhere. Look
He's
under his
got
carpet.
properties he can sell.
He looks like one of those under the mattress people. Go and look.
One.
He's got a sock somewhere full of $100 bills.
Wait a minute, let me see if I can find it.
I guarantee you. Oh, these people.
Young card's just trying to fly out.
1.4 million. Those are I don't operate in those numbers. I know.
And did you see that the other lawyer that he has submitted paperwork to the court to drop him as a client, the one in Georgia, the case against Rudy Giuliani in Georgia? His lawyer there submitted to the court that he doesn't want to represent Rudy Giuliani anymore.
His RICO lawyer?
Uh-huh.
He's going to end up with a public defender.
Oh my goodness.
I saw that like last week or something. It was on the Midas Touch. They put it on their Twitter that the lawyer had submitted paperwork to.
You'll be in prepaidlegal.com.
He's a lawyer. He can just represent himself. You know?
That'll go well.
No.
You can do it, can't you?
We're rooting for you, Rudy. Let's do it.
Creepy baby head. He'll represent you. He says no for now, but we'll see. I'll talk him into it.
They're definitely like, it's kind of like 50-50 if they'll get the money, because he's like trying to act like, oh, I depend on charity and stuff, but they've done the work for you. And they're charging in to go after it. He's gonna plead like I'm bankrupt or whatever. I think the judge is gonna have to get his financial records, because I think he does have money somewhere in the world. So they're gonna have to track that down. So there's a lot of unfinished work around this. But the judgment will come to them. They've just got to go and explore like where he's sticking the money.
What'd you get, Lori?
Yeah. I mean, he's of course trying to say, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. You know, it's a shell game. It's over here. No, it's over here. No, wait, it's over under this chair. Go look over here. And then they're just done. He just says, I can't. And they're just going to make him, they're going to take the proceeds from a sale. Something ends, something stops, maybe the sale of the house or whatever. And then it just gets mandated to there's a ruling and that's it.
I get that there's a property that may need to be transitioned and turned over that comes into play in a negotiation for a choice to be made. So like, because it's house, ship, storks, birds, and crossroads, it's around a property. So maybe start negotiating a property like, oh, you owe me 1.4. Well, I don't have it. You got that property? because this shows that he's got several properties. You know, and then and there's negotiating. So they'll get the money, but it might come from a property of some sort.
I think it's worth doing. If nothing else, you'll have a judgment out there. And so if there is some sort of money to be garnished or to be had, then you can be up there with Dominion and Hunter and McDonald's and Burger King and everybody else who's suing him. You can be right up there and then get your check like they do class action suits. Meanwhile, if you have bought root beer in the past year, you can get your $5.50 from A&W because they got sued and they lost. So they put the words aged vanilla on the front of their cans, and their root beer is not made with aged vanilla. It's artificial flavoring, which I thought everybody knew that, but false advertising, and they lost their case.
Holy cow.
So if you got A&W root beer over the past year, send them your receipt and you can get your $5.50. So there's the King and Queen of Wands. So it is worth doing because some actions will be taken and some supportive actions will be taken as well. There's your conversations. And the Knight of Cups, maybe a settlement of some sort because here's an offer that is made and conversations that is had. This is face-to-face, so possibly some arbitration. It doesn't look like arguments going back and forth, so maybe this is not a long, lengthy trial. Word of warning is the 10 of Pentacles. If he tells you he ain't got it, he's lying. So go after it somewhere because it's held up in something. So sell your stock, sell your top teeth, whatever you got to sell.
I mean, he
there's
flew
no
to
way.
Georgia on a private plane. Come on, he's got money and connection to money somewhere.
There's no way that any judge is going to let somebody off the hook for $1.4 million that you owe on a bill. Like you owe $500, and those creditors are real quick to come after you with a judgment or something to get. You can't tell me that any judge in their right mind is going to be like, yeah, just tough luck.
Get around to it.
Like, Rudy, you're not going to need that apartment and that apartment while you're in jail. Just sell it.
So Rudy Giuliani is also being sued by Hunter Biden for hacking his laptop. How will that go?
Hunter Biden win his lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani.
MTG was flashing those pictures again in the house last week.
They are just
Disgusting.
They may be a little jealous of him too. To be honest, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
I love that Biden is now using clips of MTG and different GOP people talking about his accomplishments as his ads. Like, he's doing this and he's doing this and he's doing this, and we have to stop him. He's done great things.
Didn't Hunter Biden start defamation lawsuits against a bunch of those people?
Yeah.
And didn't Rudy Giuliani also, or was it Donald Trump, or was it Donald Trump and Rudy that were getting sued by Ruby Freeman and her daughter because of what they did, of harassing them and put their lives in? They had to move how many times? That goes beyond defamation. You are like now sending a mob to harass people.
Interesting.
I get to win it. The judgment on the evidence that was hacked into, and then I also get that it was not just hacked into, like some of it was manipulated and changed. There's an inside job to this, someone connected to Trump. And I get the courts give him the win. Something's going to grow out of this too, though. There'll be another investigation or another trial that grows out of this, of someone that he partnered with to do this.
Yeah, this is giant. I get like win, boom. Like, what's behind all of this and who all's involved in this blows up like a...
Well, it's kind of like their connection to Trump, like they're doing it for Trump. So Hunter can't sue Trump, right? That would look really bad for Biden if Hunter sued Trump, but it's like he gets all the people around him and then boom, it links it to Trump.
I mean, I get both victory cards, right? I mean, this is a win. This is a definite win. And there's money rewarded. And then the outcome is just like the whole false castle falls apart, blows up like the world's biggest transformer.
Unbelievable. I get Hunter Biden walks out of it with the win. Giuliani has the proof of burden, and it's going to be a very, 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 very hard mountain to climb on that one. Like he's FUCKED. Okay, so Hunter's good. Giuliani. So what'd you get, Johnny?
It started with the devil and the justice, and that's pretty much all I needed. And so, yes, he will win because there was an atrocity committed towards you. Oddly enough, in this deck too, and they switch in some tarot decks. They switch the number of the strength card and the justice card. So justice will be 8 and strength will be 11. They switch the images in this one. So the lion is on the justice and the scales are on the strength card.
Interesting.
I just thought I'd mention that. Not that it had anything to do with anything, but you know. But yes, I get he'll win. It's a judge in the end too. So, and then there is some victory going forward. This does, however, start some negative press possibly with the 8 of Wands. There's a lot of talking because it shines a light again on the whole Hunter Biden thing. Not that that's going to go away because that's all they're going to be able to use against Joe when they run against him and blah, blah, blah. So is that because what else you got at this point?
That's just, it's incredible to me that these POSs went out and targeted civilians and ruined lives for an orange clown.
Yes.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they're over there sipping their champagnes, hanging out with their Russian oligarch buddies, rolling around in millions of dollars, while regular people are the ones that are suffering from their BS to get a wannabe dictator in office. Like, I think Hunter Biden should sue all of them. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, go down the list, each person individually.
Well, Fox is being sued. I got that on the list actually. Again.
Yeah. Oh, again?
Yes. But we're gonna stick to civilians. Thank you, Margaret. There's a sheriff in a place called Culpeper. His name is Scott Jenkins. And he has now launched his GoFundMe. If you want to, don't. But if you want to, go right ahead. Sheriff Scott Jenkins is turning to public funds to fund his legal defense because he said that he is a victim of the Biden Justice Department. And what he did is, well, what he's been accused of is taking bribes. Bribes from people who wanted to be, or he wanted to make them auxiliary deputies, civilians, regular people. He was going to deputize regular people because those people were their Second Amendment rights were being infringed upon by the Justice Department in Biden's administration.
They're what?
So, yeah, their Second Amendment rights because they couldn't own guns for whatever reason. And so he was going to make them deputies.
So then they did a gun as a deputy.
Yeah.
So maybe they had a felony conviction. They're not supposed to own guns or something, you know.
And that's where it started. And then apparently people were trying to grease the palm to just be deputized anyway. And so now he has been accused of taking bribes. So he has pleaded not guilty to federal bribery and conspiracy charges. Among other allegations, federal prosecutors claim that Jenkins took bribes from people who then wanted to become the deputies. And that's where he got caught, is because then there became a list of people saying, hey, I want to be a deputy. You want some money? And so now he has been indicted.
So does he think he's Andy of Mayberry? He can just deputize anybody he wants?
Yes.
Barney's out of town on vacation. I need a deputy to help me out for a week.
Yeah.
And his defense lawyer is the one who set up the GoFundMe because he needs some money.
Isn't that a huge conflict of interest?
I think so. What state is this in? Texas?
This is I forget what state it's in.
It's not Florida.
Culpeper Sheriff Scott Jenkins. Somebody looked that up for me. Culpeper is Culpeper instead of PPER. PEPER.
It's got to be Texas or Arizona. Or Arizona.
His GoFundMe page claims the Biden Justice Department has indicted Sheriff Jenkins on outrageous allegations.
That's Culpeper, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
We're saying Virginia.
So illegal defense and the full weight of the government is down upon him, is what they're saying, because he took bribes from people who wanted to be deputies. So how is that going to go?
See, Virginia's getting their share crazy now. It's leaking.
Will he be successful in fighting the charges against him?
And his name is Sheriff what?
Sheriff
Jenkins?
Scott Jenkins.
Scott Jenkins.
Mm-hmm. Took bribes from
gonna get
people
lucky
who wanted to
and
be
He's been sheriff since 2012.
Scott Jenkins. Sheriff Scott Jenkins.
Mind you, the way this ties in to our current political predicament, he is a Trumper, naturally. And him and Trump, well, not him and Trump, but he's basically following the MAGA protocol that we need guns and we need more authority on the streets. And that's why he wants to deputize people. And so that more MAGA people run around with guns.
So he must have had some kind of legal problem to start the GoFundMe, and then it got bigger once he started taking money because people wanted to be play deputy.
Because he has no money. Because he's stupid, just not corrupt. And mind you, this is another little tie-in. Guess who his largest donor is? Of $500, mind you, but his largest donor is, what was the general guy who Flynn, Mike Flynn. That's his largest donor as of right now. And he's been on his podcast saying the man is a martyr, basically.
It's like that sheriff that Trump pardoned that was just corrupt beyond all get out over in Texas.
Wire fraud, 11 counts of federal program bribery. See? Yeah, he racked up some charges. Oh, sad face. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I just can't. I can't.
What did you get? What have you got?
Oh, he's effed. He's effed.
Yeah.
The only thing I can possibly, and I'm reaching here. The only thing I can possibly see is a group of peers that favors him. That's it. But other than that, he's effed.
His co-workers like him.
Because it's man and heart. So it could be people that that are loving towards him. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the only that's me. Like I'm reaching. Because
he is well short of his GoFundMe goal, and some people are probably donating. So I can see some people saying, "Oh God, Sheriff Jenkins is in trouble. Let me donate my."
They're doing to Sheriff Jenkins what they're trying to do to Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? And that's me reaching, but the rest of it says he's effed.
I ain't donating my donut money to no food taking bribes. Thank you. No.
Speaking of donuts, I just got my coupon today from Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts because it's my birthday month, and they're like, "Come get your."
You got to leave the house.
I know, but it's right there and then right over there. So I drive less than a mile. It's within my 1 mile radius, Johnny.
You can make it.
I think the Justice Department's going to go after him for something else because, like, he's going to be fighting this, but he's also going to be put in defense mode over something else that comes out during the investigation. There's people that he's partnered with on this who are like-minded. I get the Queen and King of Cups here, and the message about the money and the donors and everything, the steady money coming in. He does have supporters, but in the details, there's going to be another action taken against him because of something else he's done. I get he'll get pushed out and isolated, but there's something else. He might have paid for a female
friends
get rid of something. He might have used that money to help pay not just legal fees.
Oh, I'm sorry I knocked you up. Go get an abortion.
Yep, he's definitely misusing his wand for sure. But he does have a lot of friends. He has a lot of friends, and they're going to try everything they can to help him out. But I think he may have deputized too many people. So he's got problems. But I don't think it's the worst thing that can happen to him. I don't think, he doesn't have the tower or terrible, terrible, terrible things here. So he's getting out of something somehow. Something he gets out. He gets in trouble and gets out of something at the same time.
Maybe they'll try to spin it as, he was just being generous, trying to help the community, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? It's just...
Because he's got multiple counts of this and that and this and that. So he could get all his counts here and then maybe not this one and then that type of thing. There's some sadness and regret here with the 5 of Cups. So this is going to be heavier than you suspect. The 5 of Cups is a card that can push you way out of proportion if you let it, because you'll be focused on the spilled milk type of thing instead of what you still have left, which means that there is something coming towards you that could swing you into that mood or that mentality. I'm saying you as he's watching. And so there is something that can swing you into that mentality. And so this could be like loss of job and loss of income, loss of relationship, loss of this, loss of that. And then it seems like every time you look around, something is being taken away. And so you just have to keep perspective that all is not lost. You still have your breath. So, as long as you got up in the morning, you can figure the rest of life out. Some people didn't. So count yourself lucky. The 5 of Swords and the 9 of Swords, there's defeat and anxiety. This is what's coming towards you. Word of warning, 8 of Pentacles, your job. Somebody's going to give you a little bit more money, though, with the 6 of Pentacles. But the 6 of Pentacles is a fantastic card. It's a card of charity, giving. And it's also a card of submission and begging, too, because everybody on this card is not in a position of power. Some people are just in a position of handed. So it's like whatever you're handed is what you have to take. People do not give you loads of money without expecting something in return. Now, what you can do for them, I don't know. Maybe you just raise their political profile. Maybe you are just a photo op, whatever the case may be, but somebody wants something from you and they will give you some money. Your future is uncertain at the moment because you can still make something of this with the 7 of Cups, but you do need to take a time out and figure it out. Because again, a lot is about to come at you and it's about to hit you very hard, but it's supposed to because you caused this. And life sucks sometimes because we started the sucking. So there's that. Now, talking of suck, Fox News has now gotten the Fox Corporation sued again.
For what this time, Johnny?
Oregon Pension Fund and the New York State Pension Fund.
Oregon? Or like organs?
Mm-hmm. Oregon, as in
Oh, Oregon, the state of Oregon. Okay.
And see, if I'd have said it my way, Oregon, then you know. The state of Oregon, the Attorney General here, Ellen Rosenblum, I think her name is. They are filing suit saying that Fox News has damaged the stock portfolio by letting their on-air host say any and everything they want to say. And so they are suing Fox Corporation because of what Fox News does on a daily, hourly, minute, secondly basis. Because I think right now, let me see, the New York City pension funds are long-term shareholders of Fox Corporation with shares valued at $28.1 million. So they got a lot of money in Fox Corp. And Oregon holds about $5.2 million in Fox Corporation. So people's pensions being invested in all these little weird schemes and things have been invested in Fox Corp. And they are now suing, saying that you intentionally damaged the stocks by letting your on-air host spout lies and damaging and violent rhetoric.
And because of a massive lawsuit that caused them what, 789 million, almost $1 billion. We were almost there, and they still have Smartmatics. They still have the Smartmatic. That's not done. So what's the question?
So it's
any loss that they had as Fox Corp, they would use as a tax write-off. But people that lose money in stocks on pension, there's no write-off.
So what other state besides Oregon?
Oregon and New York City Pension Fund is what it's called. And they got 28 million, and then Oregon has 5 million invested in Fox Corporation.
So they're suing Fox Corp.
So they are suing. So will they be successful in their lawsuits?
And Rupert Murdoch stepped down too. Was it last week?
Yeah.
The arsonist just finally said, I'm done. Like, you did this, man.
After he destroyed the world.
Uh-huh.
Fox News is one of the most poisonous things on earth.
Brain poison. I'm telling you all, brain poison. So what was the question, Danny?
Will they be successful in their lawsuit? I was only focusing on Oregon because that's what the article was about.
Yes, but this isn't the last we've heard of this. There's going to be more that comes out of it because I start with a big yes card, but there's unfinished work. There's going to be more legal issues against Fox Corp and how they structured themselves. They will win some sort of financial payout is what I'm getting. So I'm assuming that's what they're going for. Some sort of payout, justice and Ace of Swords. But there's something else that's going to come out of this. This is not the last time we've heard about Fox and lawsuits.
Yeah, I got a yes too. I didn't get giant sums of money, but I got a yes. I feel like there's going to be so many lawsuits. It's going to be, how big is this line going to get?
Like the DMV take a number.
Yeah, and then and Pooty is, of course, he's just the oligarch money is. It'll come out. It all comes out.
I got the clouds, the letter, and the lilies. Yes, we're gonna be satisfied. It's gonna be a while. With that clouds and letter though, that makes me remember that during the lawsuit with Dominion, didn't Fox get busted hiding evidence?
trying to, yes.
Because this is problematic. That works against them. There's something effed up here with messaging. It's written communication. It's not talking. This is written communication that this doesn't show obstruction, but it shows it causes a crap ton of problems. The outcome is very satisfactory to the shareholders, the investment companies. It takes a while. It's not anytime soon, but this is what screws them. There's something around messaging here via mail that F's them up. So almost like evidence that they knew what they were doing was wrong, but they kept doing it anyways. You know what I mean? So it's, and they already got busted for that, for trying to hide evidence or manufacture evidence during the trial, whatever it was. So, no.
Yeah, I get Wheel of Fortune and the 10 of Cups. So over time, you'll be happy. So this does take a minute because I get the World card right above that. So lessons have to be learned first, and then you'll get your payout with the 9 of Pentacles. But this is possibly like something in a year's time. So it's a few changes of the seasons. That's how legal things work. They take a long time. So yes, you'll be satisfied, but it's going to take a minute.
I wonder what they're going to do, though. I mean, how many lawsuits are they at already? They already finished Dominion. They still have Smartmatic. They have the pension people that are suing them. There's probably going to be more before they stop and realize that their anchors are a huge liability, because they're giving carte blanche to just make stuff up, and it's causing them. Besides the fact that the majority of their audience has one foot in the grave at this point. I don't know any 20-year-old that's sitting around watching Fox News, so their audience is limited, and their hosts are the ones that are running their mouths, causing them problems. So
yeah, it's on at a lot of
military bases, which pisses me off.
It's also on sub shops. It's family owned. Yeah,
it was on once at a store I worked at, and it started a thing, and we watched Family Feud from then on because somebody came in there and raised all the hell, and so they were like, "No, we're not watching that." And this, because it was an old white guy, he was. Well, I want to see what's going on, and we're not watching. And then they just went back and forth. Because everybody with connecting brain cells knows this is not news. So turn it off.
It's bigoted racism
and we don't need, and honestly speaking, in a work environment, we don't need to be inundated with the news. Just watch something benign. If we all have to watch the same thing, let it be a game show.
Put on or the Food Network. I mean, come on.
That's better. Like, unless you got, the vegans are outside protesting, which they never do. So other than that, just calm down. Just turn all that off. How about that? Just sit and talk to each other. You remember conversation? Read a book.
Yeah, read a book.
Speaking of reading, Scott Hall, Lori, you read on him the other day or yesterday. He has pled guilty. He's got 5 years probation because he has cooperated. And apparently he has a whole bunch of information, like a treasure trove, apparently. So I want to know what is the impact of his testimony on Donald Trump? Because maybe he just has information on other people, but that we don't know.
He's the first plea deal out of the 19 indictments.
He's the first pancake.
That's too many. I got him on the list. That's too many mental gaffes all in the same week. I mean, and is retrograde still a thing right now?
Not a Mercury.
Oh. Okay. Well, I was going to try to give him a benefit of the doubt, because we get confused sometimes,
No, when he started mentioning the whales were dying from the windmills, I was like,
Like, no, that ain't contagious.
who is listening
But, he said crazier things like drink bleach to stop COVID. Don't do that, people. For entertainment purposes only. Trump said
Did
that.
he say that, or because I think we conflate? Didn't he say because bleach kills anything that you can inject it in small doses or something?
It kills people if you drink it. That's why it tells you not to drink it on the bottle.
And that Dr. Deborah, oh my God. And that Dr. Deborah Birch or whatever her name was, she just sat there like this.
I couldn't have sat there if I was a doctor and listened to that crap. I
mean, you took the Hippocratic Oath, so I don't think you should have just sat there. You should have clarified, maybe. Hippocrates is rolling in his grave right now.
And poor Dr. Fauci has to walk around with security detail now because of an orange clown with a dead ferret on his head, sicking his idiots on him.
Mm-hmm. Fauci, he was in his 80s, I think.
He's 80, 86, 87.
And happy birthday to Jimmy Carter.
Happy birthday, Jimmy Carter. I can't with these people, man.
Biden's message to Jimmy Carter made me bawl like a baby. It was only I don't know, 8 sentences or something, and I just lost it. I was like, why did I just watch that? Because he's normal.
Yes. Biden, king of cups, they know what to say.
Remember when Donald Trump said that windmills were causing cancer? And I guess, like Lori's saying now, it's killing whales. So windmills cause cancer and kills whales.
Anything that spins around is just danger.
Well, what's it mean for Donald Trump? Big problems. Big problems. And I think there will be more that take a plea deal that migrate in that direction. Right now there's a little chaos and stuff, but I think there'll be more. I think he's got some information on January 6th too, not just the fake electors and all that. But he's going to be talking and sharing that information. He's got stuff on some other Republicans that aren't going to like this at all. And it just means Trump is out in the cold in the courts. There's going to be major illumination on this. So it is not good news for Trump.
Is that Roro or is that?
It's Roro, and she picked some of the cards. I don't know if you saw me. I was holding the cards out. She was
little mayhem.
She would on me playing, and you're gonna fall off. You better be careful, dear. She's rolling around, showing her belly.
I saw her arm squatting you while you were trying to read.
Feet in the air. Yeah.
What'd you get, Lori?
I think that it sets off. I think I agree with Jen. It sets off. Other people were just sort of waiting to see what would happen. And they're like, okay, if he's going to go in and tell the truth, then I'm going to go do it too. And then it's just like, who's number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And that it just, I think it's just puts more nails in that coffin, just right into that 8 of swords. It's like he's surrounded. He's got no way out. There's no way.
I get that he's nailed. His testimony goes up and down the org chart. So top to bottom or bottom to top of everybody that was persistently working on this thing. Perhaps some new people that we don't know or haven't heard about yet. But there's an org chart, and they were persistent on how they were doing this thing around fraud and who was working on it. But how it impacts Trump, it's not exactly that he's the mastermind of this. He's not the mastermind. He was just persistent about it, if that makes any sense. So he's screwed. But it goes up and down the chart of who was working on it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what I get.
That makes sense.
That's exactly what I get. So I don't need to say anything there.
We love to hear your voice, Johnny.
There's the 10 of Pentacles. There's your family tree. And then there's some people we don't know as of right now. that apparently were in there too. I got a man and a woman, and then there's someone possibly that was government connected too. There's the hangman and the high priestess. And so there's a whole lot of orders that were given to change things or to be in different positions and to assume authority in places where you had none. Remember, this is the Popess. So to assume authority in places where you did not have any. And they were under the directive of someone with the magician and the Nine of Cups. So there was some manipulation of the things that were going on. As far as his testimony impacting Donald Trump, it's, again, I think it's more of it's like from the roots on up. He said this is basically what was sustaining the whole thing, and then Donald Trump's at the top. Mm-hmm. So all, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they did this, and this, and this, and Sally, Sue, and Jane, and they did this, and this for Donald Trump. And so that's what I get.
Whatever
that one
happened?
lady. What?
I'm sorry. Whatever happened to the cyber ninjas? Because if these people are getting busted, Scott Hall was one of the ones that was messing with the voting machines, correct?
Right.
So if he was messing with the voting machines, what the hell happened with cyber ninjas? They were taking the freaking voting machines and taking the data to replicate it, to fraudulently use it in all the other states that Trump lost. So what happened to them? Are they being does anybody know?
The last I heard, now mind you, this was eons ago. The last I heard was the judge had them on the hook saying everything that in your investigation, everything you found, you must turn over. And if you do not, you get $50,000 a day in fines. And that was the last I heard. And
They got fined for a little bit, but it's like, it would appear to me that if the special counsel and his team of prosecutors are going after Scott Hall for doing what he did, considering that the Cyber Ninja Mutant Ninja Turtles people did the same thing, you would think that that would apply there too. Do you see what I'm saying? Except the Ninja Turtles did it on a way grander scale, so it appears like it's the same crime. I'm just not sure where that was at.
I don't know. I ain't heard.
I feel like the last thing I heard was the main guy that was that treasure hunter that founded the cyber ninjas, that he was being charged, that there were charges pending against him.
Against him? Because I'm seeing here Terry Solaris is saying that they took the ballot machines from Arizona to Montana and were tampering with them.
Wow. Okay, and then cyber ninjas is no more. I mean, there's no thing. It's not a thing anymore.
Have they been
dissolved? I don't
believe so. It's disbanded.
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But you would think that all those people would get busted just as hard as Scott Hall.
Something's got to happen.
Because now the taxpayers in Arizona are on the hook to buy all new voting machines because he can't use them. They were tampered with. That's millions of dollars that the taxpayers have to use. I would be livid if I was in Arizona, but I'll shut up.
That's why one day it'll be blue. I mean, you keep on, and you will find out.
Tell him, Johnny. You keep on. Damn it. Like
F around and find out, buddy.
Arizona's like the Florida of the West. I'm telling you, it's just what the hell.
They'll clean it up. I believe in you, Arizona. I ain't ever going back there because it's like 4 miles from hell. So y'all get all that residual heat. Lord Jesus, that 120, I'd have died 2 times. Mm-hmm. I was complaining here, and it was 100 something. I'm like, which one? Mind you, it was 102 in a state with no air conditioning. And so I complained. I complained the whole time. I got neck sweat, boob sweat. It was not cute. It was.
You had swamp ass too, Johnny?
I did. It was not cute.
That's not cute.
Swamp ass is not fun.
That's why I got a bag. It's got deodorants and colognes and soaps in it because I'm very paranoid about how I smell, and so.
We'll get you some of that Libby deodorant for ass crack sweat.
If y'all haven't noticed, everybody I know in my life ain't quite as tall as me, And so every time you go to hug somebody, they right under your armpit too.
That happened to me when I hugged you. I was in your armpit. You didn't
he
think
had
so.
us on either side, both in his armpits.
Lord.
But he didn't think, so that was nice.
Better not. All that money I spent on that damn cologne. Okay.
Thank you, Hope.
Thank you, Hope. Donald Trump held one of his pep rallies there at Sweet Valley High, and he managed to mention Lindsey Graham, who then got booed again at his rally. He once called him a Democrat.
Not a rhino, a Democrat, an actual Democrat.
When was this? A couple days ago?
The booing, yes, I think.
Again?
Well, he's trending on Twitter right now, actually, because of that. So I'm not sure when it happened, but he got booed yet again.
I can't.
Lindsey Graham is being targeted by the MAGAs too, because he is calling for aid for Ukraine. And Donald Trump has said that's a bad thing, so they automatically believe it. They don't know why. They're also, now here's one thing. America needs money too. I get it. So, the America First initiative to where don't send money to other countries because we need it here. Look at our poor, look at our this, look at our that. Meanwhile, every time you try to give money to the poor, y'all bitch and complain about it. And then you try to wipe out student debt and then they complain about that too. So what do you need this money for exactly?
And that's what I was going to ask, Johnny. Oh, well, America needs that money. But before the war started, you all were all about cutting Social Security, cutting WIC. So what do you
need money for your roads and bridges? Oh, you mean the money Biden tried to give to you, but your Republican
yeah. What do you
congressman said no?
To fuel the war machine more? I just don't, because it's not like it's going to social safety nets, because they're all against that.
So what do you need money for? And so Lindsey Graham he's in a video, and they're playing this on a loop too, where he's walking with Elizabeth Warren and one other Democratic person. They're all walking together, and they're like, "Oh, look, he's on the other side." And so right now he has been targeted by the MAGA. What I want to know though is what is Lindsey Graham's current feelings towards Donald Trump?
Okay, what is Lindsey Graham's current feeling towards?
Because at some point you're going to have to endorse somebody. Ramaswamy's, Nikki Haley's, Ashwami's, Nimarata. That's her name.
Ramaswamy is a little worm.
He is the worst.
Man, I don't like to cut down people but I'm just, it's like, he's like a worm.
Who's got rabies?
Get rabies.
It's a rabbit worm.
A rabbit worm.
Watch out, he's got teeth. Mm-mm.
Wow, that bromance is taking a turn.
I mean, it should get your head out of his behind. Maybe get some of that orange crap off your face. You'll be all right.
Everybody's not leaving me room to lay cards here. His image is that he's a bully. He still sees him as a bully that kind of skates by and burdens the party. But for some reason, he's also sees himself as out in the cold from Trump. So there's he's stuck with him, and yet he's out in the cold from him. So I think he's nervous about him and where that relationship's going to go. He sees Trump as falling, on a downward spiral. But he's going to keep quiet about it. He's anxious, but he's going to keep quiet. So, hey, what are you doing?
It's almost Christmas time again.
Blowing up the ornaments.
The tree has endured.
Go ahead, Lori. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I'm going to make a big prediction here. I think Miss Lindsey is going to have a couple of snifters full of a few things. And then he is going to just let it fly off his tongue. And this bromance is over.
I can see it.
I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's just going to explode. He's just going to explode.
He's such a slimy piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry to use profanity on your channel, Johnny, but it's just like, ugh. He doesn't trust him. He does not trust him. And he doesn't trust a woman that's around him that's bootlicking either. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's a Carrie Lake. I don't know if that's a Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know who it is. But he's suspicious of her. Because I asked, how does he feel about Donald Trump? And it's Fox Woman and Heart. So it's like,
Gotta be her.
He's suspicious of a woman that's very passionate, it's not generosity. It's like she's desiring something very much. And he's eyeing that, like, he's suspicious of it. So trying to figure out her angle, or I don't know, but he doesn't trust him. And there's another woman here that he doesn't trust either, but he'll play along, What'd you get?
Oh, mint julep. There is a part of him with the Six of Cups that is a bit naive. Naive is not the right word, though. It's Terry Solaris. Where's your comment? Where she said that her theory was Lindsey Graham had unrequited love for John McCain. It was obviously crushed when McCain passed. Trump put his arm around Lindsey's shoulders, and Lindsey turns his love to Trump. So I can piggyback off of such a thing with this, and there's someone he gravitated. So I don't want to say he's naive necessarily. This may have been an emotional reaction. Page of Cups is very open-hearted. They trust and believe anybody. They'll smile at the devil if the devil smiles back. And so Donald Trump is bright and shiny. That's why so many people followed him. He talks loud. He's talks this big game, and then they get impressed by such things. You think they wouldn't because they're all millionaires and they shouldn't be, but you think they wouldn't still be wooed by people of his caliber, but they are, because that's where they get their favors from. They don't organically have millions of dollars. They get it from people who are influencers in the world. Donald Trump, like it, love it, hate it, or leave it, is an influencer. I mean, he's got a whole bunch of people with the new Klan hat on, but they just call it MAGA on the front. And so he was enamored with the bright and the shiny, with the Apprentice, with the You're Fired, and the Trump Tower, and the casino, and the big stupid suit with the stupid tie. And
what he's about to lose tomorrow.
I have a question, Johnny.
I got one more. But what does he think of him as of right now? The word of warning is the Three of Cups, and so not so much. And then the Page of Swords and Ten of Swords is how it ends. And so that little child with the open heart has now sort of turned that into sourness. He's a bit
salty about the whole thing.
You were backstabbed. At the same time, it's Donald Trump. What did you think was going to happen?
But is Trump bringing him up in these rally speeches to try to help Lindsey? Because Lindsey's an unindicted co-conspirator. We all know it down in Georgia. Or is he trying to hurt him? Does he enjoy when they boo Lindsey?
He does. Because when he brings him up, it's not that, oh, my friend Lindsey Graham. He's mentioning people because mind you, again, let's these are not campaign speeches where I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that for you. They're just pep rallies for himself. And what about that Lindsey Graham? And then they start booing, and then he says, "Oh yeah, he's a rhino, or he's a Democrat, or he's a progressive, or he's a," he tries to say something to make it sound like he ain't one of us.
So is he doing it as sort of a threat to Lindsey? Like, see,
Yes.
I can control your voters, so
Yeah.
next
Yes.
election,
That's
I'm
all it
going to
is.
turn them against you.
That's all it is. It's a show of force and intimidation. That's all it is.
It's witness tampering, basically.
And he gets a rise because he can make the people react.
To what
Yes.
he's
It's a show of force to Lindsey Graham and everybody else that's watching. Look what I did there. I can do it to all of you.
Exactly.
You know,
Let me come
when
to your
really
state.
he has no power. All you got to do is sit back and wait for him to get freaking handcuffed. Let it go. You know, we just saw that what happened in where was it with Ken Paxton? The only reason he was let off the hook because of a campaign that Donald Trump was running, that if you don't let him off the hook, I'm going to have all of you primary.
Right.
Why do people act like he has any influence? He doesn't. He doesn't. Just because there's a crowd of crazies wearing red hats does not translate to votes. You know,
Right.
so
They
Well-
haven't won before.
Speaking of Ken Paxton, the Texas Supreme Court has sided with 4 former staff members of Attorney General Ken Paxton, making way for their whistleblower lawsuit to commence. And so he is being sued by 4 whistleblowers. Now they're not not confidential. What do you call it? Where their identities are concealed. They're out in the open because their names are all listed. What is going to be the result of their lawsuit? Now, here's why they're suing. So they say for this case, it's more than money because they are suing for financial gain. It's about the truth, is what one of them said. The 4 employees were fired by Paxton after making reports to the FBI about alleged actions that Paxton took, including handing out political favors to donors. The group of whistleblowers filed a lawsuit for wrongful termination and retaliation in 2020. Now, again, the Texas Supreme Court, so it went all the way up, said that the case may commence. Now, Paxton agreed at one point to pay the employees $3.3 million in a formal apology for calling them rogue employees. In a tentative statement, the group later filed a new motion to the Supreme Court saying Paxton had not held up his end of that deal. So will they get their $3.3 million?
I believe they all testified in his impeachment trial, too. Victory card fell out.
Donald Trump is not, has not, and will not be worth it. Just in case anybody didn't know that. Just saying.
I just can't
He
believe
wanted the Texans to pay his settlement. Ain't that lovely?
I just can't believe that the entire Senate was like, oh yeah, there's a mountain of evidence against you. You know what? Donald Trump said we're going to get primaried. Go ahead. You're cool. You're cool. Innocent. Goddamn. Yeah, he wanted the taxpayers to flip that bill.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
So will they get it? Yes. The people filing the lawsuit, the court is in their favor. The law is in their favor. Where that money comes from, I have no idea. But I'm sure the majority of Texas is going to be real pissed off if it's like, yeah, let the taxpayers pay for this one guy that is convicted. He was convicted 7 years ago, and he's still the freaking attorney general.
Yeah. I get yes, they get the judgment too, but something's going to grow from this, and they're going to look into where the money came from to pay it out. So this is going to be another major tower moment on Paxton and all of his greed and anybody working with him, and the court's in their favor, strength to them. They're going to win it.
Yeah.
There'll be more investigations because they win it.
I got a big yes, a very big yes. And I think that this is the segue into more investigations that'll just keep going from past things, and it'll all get together. He is not going to do well. The Texas Senate said, okay, you're okay, but no, the FBI is not going to say that. The Department of Justice is not going to say that. He's in big trouble. Takes a long time sometimes.
I get the victory card, first card, 6 of Wands, but I get the 5 of Pentacles as well. So I don't know if you'll get it all. There may be some disappointment when it comes to the actual judgment part, but there is a payout here with the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know if you're going to get it all at once either, but it does get settled. So I do believe you will get your payment.
Well, and the Knight of Pentacles can be slow to the gate, so maybe it takes a long time to get it.
It's, I'll take the slow, just give it to me. This, I guess. It's better than losing your case, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then again, I win, give me my money. Wait outside your house. Okay, so I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. I didn't want to do a bunch of health readings on Trump because it wasn't really fair to look at the full card. To then not do them on Biden too, and I don't want to go into that because then too many people are asking, is Biden going to make it? No, I'm not going there. I'm not asking if Trump's going to die either. But his mental decline is obvious, or he's crazy like a fox. I don't know. But I want to know.
Is he crazy like a fox, or is he mentally declining?
I'm gonna make it broad, and then you can choose your own adventure when it comes to this. So what I want to know is, does he have any health concerns that we see in here? We're not doctors. We're not his doctor, so we don't have his medical file nor history. Just make that clear too. So this is not medical advice. But does he have any health concerns that he should be paying attention to? Like if he came to you for a health reading, and what would pop up in your cards?
Okay.
Because it could be just the walls closing in too. That has an effect. Just think about in our everyday life when it's happened to everybody. And so it's like things just feel like they're getting small. Now, mind you, we're not being indicted 91 times and sued by half the world, but we had our own little personal storms. And so
he's the kind of person, like if you say you're going to die, he would that would mess with his mind. We're all going to die. Like you can say that, we're all going to die. I didn't say when, I just said you're going to die.
And I'm going to use this.
Well, his diaper's full. He's got colon issues. He drinks too much. I always get he drinks. He's dehydrated. He needs more fluids. He doesn't sleep at night. His sleep pattern changes all the time. He pushes himself too hard with something through the sinus passage, something that you would breathe in.
What are you guys waiting on?
He has balance issues because his back is screwed up. and he takes a lot of pills, whether he's inhaling them or ingesting them. I don't get anything about mental.
Who is this? That
Trump.
you guys
I think he's concerned about something that affected his mother, and he thinks that he won't have this problem, but he's been told he is having a problem, but he's not doing anything about it. Like, but I get the pill thing too, and I think he's going to have a procedure, but he's not. He's sort of more in denial. He's not like
a procedure to pull his head out of his ass.
It's probably to pull everybody else's heads out of his ass. He's all clogged up.
Yeah.
With the ass kissers. His dad's the one that had Alzheimer's. I don't know what his mom had.
I don't know what his mom had. But he has to have, I feel like he's going to have surgery on something. With these two, that's usually some sort of procedure or surgery.
She had osteoporosis.
I don't know what she. There's definitely.
I get could be a heart episode, but this is not from arteries or cholesterol. I think this is from mentality, and you can take it easy. Don't get so upset at that age and that weight, because you're not 215. So there is a calmness that you need. I think this has been said to you before, though, because that's my doctor card. There's also something about a long-term medication that.
Oh, and let's not forget either, you guys. Now that I'm listening to Johnny and remembering what Jenny said, he had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
There is walk the line of not being struck down by YouTube and the Federal Drug Administration. Medications, for all the good that they do, long term do damage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something he's been taking for quite some time, and it is doing damage to something, but it's something where you have two of them, like the lungs or the two things on the same side or different sides type of thing. It's an organ issue. So you could be having not a failure, but an issue, because you also have a kidney issue because there's something wrong with your bladder too here. But this came up first. This was more important because you can clear a bladder infection. You can stop taking this medicine and switch to something else. This here will shut everything down because your brain and your heart are two of the most important things you're walking around with. And so you can be brain dead and your heart still pumps, and then your heart can stop and your brain is still going. And so you do have an issue that you do need to, like he's watching, you do need to pay attention to when it comes to your old ticker. I'll just say that.
Harry was saying that according to Cassidy Hutchinson, Trump almost died from COVID. I believe it. I believe it.
So
I do not wish him that, because I am an evil person and I want to see him live a long, miserable life so he gets to see the comeuppance of karma when she comes a knocking.
like when she shut your business down.
Creepy baby head right there. I'm not saying it because I'm Mother Teresa. I'm saying it because I want to gloat.
I'm saying it because Letitia James went to work that morning. That's why, because she did her job. That's what you're supposed to do.
I love it that one black woman took all his money and another black woman's about to throw his butt in jail.
I gave him a good old mug shot. She took your picture of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Last question. Jamal Bowman, bless his heart, is a Democrat. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, as well as all the rest of them, of course, are calling for his arrest for him to resign.
For what?
Because during the vote to keep the government open, he pulled the fire alarm in one of the office buildings adjacent to the Capitol. Not the Capitol building, an office building.
And one of you all was tweeting Nancy Pelosi's location during an insurrection. I mean, okay.
Because that's okay, but this. So in his statement, he says, I want to personally clear up any confusion surrounding today's events. Today, as I was rushing to make a vote, I came to a door that is usually open for votes, but today it would not open. I am embarrassed to admit that I have activated the fire alarm, mistakenly thinking it would open the door. So it was one of them things where you push it for 9 seconds and then the door is supposed to open. Now, he went and he activated the fire alarm instead.
He's trying to get the door open so he can go vote.
And so since it's illegal to do, they're naturally calling for, him to be tarred and feathered and all these type of things. Will they let this go, or will this blow over? Or are they going to keep harping on this, the Marjorie Taylors of the world?
I mean, if they want to start flinging poo, if y'all want to start flinging poo, wasn't Large Marge showing pornographic pictures on the House floor?
Again.
Yeah, he did it again.
Marge calling another member of Congress, pardon my French, a little bitch. Wasn't Large Marge harassing other members of Congress? I mean, if you want to fling poo, there's plenty.
And his name is Jamal
Bowman.
Jamal something. It just went
Bowman.
Bowman, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Bowman.
So what's the question of Jamal Bowman will be?
Will this blow over, or will they continue to harass this man over his fire alarm? Because naturally all the MAGAs are like, you're doing all this to Trump, then you need to hold him accountable too. I'm like, those are completely not the same thing.
I accidentally pushed a fire alarm button versus I had thousands of people come and do an insurrection on our Capitol steps and try to end democracy as we know it.
So they're comparing him to the insurrectionists because
allegedly.
One of them was tweeting out locations of Nancy Pelosi. Another was giving tour guides before the insurrection. I mean, do we want to go there?
Yeah, it's like the evidence is too small here. It's like, the illumination on what happened. They're so erratic. They're going to be on to something else, and working together to target somebody else and backstab. So they're constantly looking for something new that they can go after. And that's, as long as Trump is burdened by the courts, they're not done. It's all image. The Chihuahua image, as Johnny says, the
Chihuahua.
The
ankle nippers. Ankle nippers.
What'd you get, Lori?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to continue. They're just going to ramp it up, continue. He's just going to have to walk away, try to ignore it. But they're going to keep trying.
I get that it's a publicity stunt that's not going to go anywhere. But it's like they're going to keep trying to open that up, make an issue out of something that's not there because it's a publicity stunt. publicity, dead. It's not there, but they keep trying to open it up. Do you see what I'm saying? So like another Biden impeachment inquiry.
Or a laptop. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
wash,
think they'll
rinse,
leave it
repeat.
after a while.
Yeah.
Let me just keep lying, and somebody will believe me.
Wash, rinse, repeat. That's all they got. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I had temperance. It'll die down eventually because all things do, especially in the news cycle. This is news today. It won't be next Sunday. So, but somebody will still be trying to pass out information, especially in the GOP with the 10 of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. They'll still be tweeting about it or Xing or whatever it's called now. I don't know. They'll still be putting up posts on their social media platforms. But you can't, I mean, this is going nowhere because you can't prove intent because they're saying he tried to delay the vote. Why would he do that? And so 10 of Swords is going nowhere. The moon, you can't prove intent. So let it go. Let it go, pal.
But as of tomorrow, they start the trial to shut down Trump.org. So they need another outrage thing to,
Well, Matt Gaetz will be banging on the door first thing. He's going to make his motion first thing.
So, oh Lord.
Well, I mean, Trump.org, everything you want, 2 for $1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bring your coupons, bring your old Bath Body Works, not Bath and Body Works. Who's them people? Bed Bath and Beyond. You can bring them coupons too. You know they last forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're out of business.
Yep.
So
Going out of business sale. It's the going out of business sale. Buy 2 get everything free.
Probably get you a couple of Pier 1 plaques out of there too.
Like the day the Trump sign comes down off Trump Towers, that's just going to be hysterical.
I'm just ready to see him rolling around in a hoopty because the jet, the 757, is tied to Trump.org. So if they have to liquidate everything, goodbye, and you're just going to have to ride around in a hoopty going to all your little hate rallies.
Letitia James and Fonnie Willis ate your lunch, homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
And Judge Chutkan's going to what? Judge Chutkan's got a meeting October 16th to decide about gag order. They're going to come down hard on him, and then if he violates that, then she's got the ability to lock him up.
I don't
Another
think
black woman.
I think she'll just start fining him, and I think for everything, every time that he screws up, she should fine him and move the trial date a week ahead.
Yeah,
because that's the one thing he doesn't care about fines. I mean, he's gonna start caring when they shut down Trump.org, but you know he's got the idiots he's grifting, you know. But I'm just ready for all that to start going down. Couldn't happen to him yesterday.
It's coming.
Well, yeah, very much so. So thank y'all. Let me go back to the list there again. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Mara, again. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Star and Blurry. Thank you, Margaret. And thank you, Hope, for the super chats. Thank y'all all for joining us, all 1,800 of you for joining us, and those who hit thumbs up and all that good stuff.
And so, thank Lori for hanging out with us.
Thank you, Lori, for joining us.
Come into play.
We'll be on Jenny's channel next week.
That's my announcement, ma'am. Please, thank you.
Sorry. I'll shut my mouth. I was just getting so excited because I was like, it's hers and then it's mine right before my birthday. Right before my birthday.
What she's really saying is stop doing the Southern goodbye. Hush, I gotta pee. So we'll be on Jen's channel next week. And I'll see y'all later.
Sacred Sounds of Coffee Friday morning on Spark Soul Therapy.
And don't buy readings from
T-Boo.
T-Boo. Don't do it.
There's the channel for Spark Soul Therapy right there. So we'll see y'all then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.